Hello everyone, Joel here. It's been a while since the last time we talked about isometric RPG games, and I think this is a perfect time for us to continue this topic. For giving you something fresh, this time I will give you my recommendation for some of the best hidden gem isometric RPGs that are worth trying. Some of you might disagree with my list, but that's okay, because at the end of the day, we all have our own opinion. Before we go into the list, I want to give you my recommendation for some of the best deals in instant gaming right now, especially if you're tight on budget. We knew that instant gaming always give us so many crazy deals for your favorite games, like these titles for example. I mean, can you believe these prices? If you love RPGs, there's no way you never heard of these masterpieces, and to think that you can get them under $10 or even $5, it's an absolute steal. All you have to do is just click my link in the description below, start searching for your favorite games and use the activation code on your chosen platform. By using my link, you're not only saving tons of money, but also helping me to support this channel. Alright then, let's get back into the list. Vendir Plague of Lies is a hidden gem isometric RPG that stands out through its confident writing and flexible systems. The story unfolds in an unusual way, spending much of its time on sharp dialogue and side quests before gradually revealing a stronger central narrative. Its plague-ravaged world feels grounded and consistent, supported by bleak visuals and restrained audio design. Combat blends classic turn-based CRPG structure with JRPG-style flow, using action points, extra turn mechanics, and strong ability synergies to encourage thoughtful planning. Character progression is highly open-ended, allowing deep customization across multiple class paths. Despite some rough edges, it delivers a rewarding and memorable experience. Svarog's dream begins with the player dying and re-entering the world through a new character, establishing its core rebirth system from the first minutes of play. The narrative focuses on conflicts between gods and their influence on a hostile land, delivered through quests, locations, and environmental details. The open world allows free movement early on, but enemy strength and terrain impose natural limits. Combat uses real-time, top-down mechanics with active abilities and gear-based builds. Progression carries over global levels while resetting talents and equipment, creating consistent tension and encouraging careful decision-making throughout the game. Black Geyser presents itself as a real-time with pause, party-based isometric RPG built around a systemic grid mechanic that directly affects world states, quest outcomes, and progression. The story follows a regional conflict shaped by player choices, with factions and events reacting to generosity or exploitation. Its world design uses classic area-based exploration, dense with quests, NPCs, and optional content. Combat emphasizes positioning, spell timing, and party composition, growing more tactical in later stages. Character progression offers extensive class and skill options, encouraging replayability. Despite some rough edges and loading issues, its reactivity and scope make it a strong modern classic-style RPG.
What? Out of my way!
Tower of Kalemonvo is an isometric action RPG focused on a single-player ascent through a hostile randomized tower. The game offers minimal narrative context, instead emphasizing survival, combat efficiency, and build experimentation. Its world is structured as sequential dungeon floors filled with demons, cultists, and undead enemies, supported by a dark fantasy visual style. Gameplay centers on slow, deliberate hack-and-slash combat, limited resources, and loot-driven progression. A classless system allows flexible character development based entirely on stats and equipment. With no hand-holding and high difficulty, it prioritizes tension, replayability, and mechanical mastery over accessibility or story depth. Dark Envoy is an isometric RPG built around controlling a small party in large-scale combat encounters. The story follows two siblings, Malachi and Kayla, navigating a prolonged war between major factions with additional companions joining later. Its strongest element is character progression, offering flexible class specializations, skill trees, and easy respec options that support extensive party experimentation. Combat focuses on ability management and positioning, but relies heavily on repeated enemy waves, which can slow pacing. Exploration is linear and quest-driven, while narrative development remains limited until late stages. The game's still far to compete with the masterpieces in the genre, but if you want some fresh experience, this game can be a great choice. Siege of Avalon Anthology is a classic isometric RPG centered on a linear, story-driven campaign set during a prolonged siege of a fantasy stronghold. The game emphasizes narrative progression over player choice, delivering its story through extensive text and a large cast of NPCs. Exploration is area-based, with quests guided by dialogue rather than markers, encouraging close attention to world details. Combat uses a real-time point-and-click system with manual combat mode activation, which is poorly explained but functional once understood. Despite dated mechanics and limited guidance, its dense writing, consistent world building, and strong sense of immersion make it a noteworthy RPG experience.
Power within was the one thing.
Tower of Time structures its entire experience around fixed combat encounters rather than free-form exploration, immediately separating it from most isometric RPGs. Progression happens through a vertical descent into a single massive dungeon, supported by a growing hub city used for training, crafting, and upgrades. The narrative focuses on uncovering the tower's connection to a dying world, delivered through narrated cutscenes and party dialogue. Combat uses real-time systems with pause and time slow, emphasizing positioning, enemy waves, and skill timing. Character growth relies on predefined companions, limited skill slots, and equipment customization, favoring tactical planning over deep character creation.
Yes, my lord. Your wish is my command.
Champions of Norrath is a console-focused action RPG that runs on real-time button-driven combat and dungeon-based progression. The game features 5 fixed character classes with predefined roles and skill trees, supporting solo play and 4-player cooperative modes. Its campaign spans roughly 20 hours, with additional difficulty settings extending replayability. The narrative provides basic motivation tied to faction warfare in the EverQuest setting, but remains secondary to combat and loot acquisition. Gameplay centers on repeated enemy encounters, randomized equipment, stat-based progression, and town-based management. Despite technical issues and simple quest design, its stable combat loop, class balance, and co-op support make it a standout action RPG on PlayStation 2.
This time, the ritual will not be interrupted.
Lionheart Legacy of the Crusader is built on real-time combat and a skill-based progression system inspired by tabletop mechanics. Set in an alternate history Europe, it combines historical locations with supernatural elements, introducing factions, spirits, and moral alignment systems early on. The opening chapters emphasize exploration, dialogue, and dense atmosphere, particularly in urban areas like Barcelona. Progression allows unlimited leveling and consistent experience gain, encouraging grinding if desired. However, combat systems struggle with pacing, companion behavior, and interface limitations, while later areas reduce variety and environmental complexity. Despite uneven execution, its setting and early design choices give it lasting niche appeal. Icewind Dale II requires the player to create and manage a full 6-character party from the start, placing character planning at the center of the experience. The game follows a strictly linear campaign set in the Icewind Dale region, focusing on continuous combat encounters rather than branching narratives. Its major distinction is the implementation of Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition rules, introducing feats, skills, flexible multi-classing, and sub-races that significantly affect gameplay depth. Combat emphasizes encounter balance, enemy variety, and tactical spell use. While exploration and choice are limited, strong mechanical systems, steady difficulty progression, and party customization make it one of the most mechanically refined Infinity Engine RPGs.
Point me to a fight.
You want me?
The Age of Decadence is a turn-based isometric RPG designed around strict specialization and systemic consequence. It uses a single character system where attributes, skills, and background choices directly gate content, quests, and outcomes. The story focuses on political collapse, faction conflict, and post-imperial survival, with most information delivered through dialogue and short narrative vignettes. Combat emphasizes positioning, action point management, weapon properties, and consumable use, often placing the player at numerical disadvantage. Progression discourages hybrid builds and rewards planning across multiple playthroughs. Despite uneven balance and limited production values, its reactivity, combat depth, and replay structure make it a standout hidden gem. The opening hours of Arcanum present a continuous chain of dialogue checks, optional quests, and mutually exclusive outcomes within a single region. NPC reactions change based on race, intelligence, alignment, and reputation, altering available information and rewards. The setting integrates industrial technology and magic as opposing systems that affect equipment reliability, spell success, and faction relations. Progression is slow and point-limited, forcing early commitment to specific skills, spells, or technological paths. Combat supports real-time and turn-based modes, each favoring different builds. Despite interface limitations, bugs, and dated visuals, its quest reactivity, character-driven outcomes, and long-term build consequences establish lasting CRPG relevance.
It is done.
Avernum 4 is a party-based RPG built around large-scale exploration, faction-driven quests, and long-form character progression. The game places players in an underground world where travel restrictions, political instability, and regional conflicts determine how content is accessed and resolved. From early on, the structure emphasizes player-led exploration rather than linear progression, with most areas available based on preparedness rather than story gating. Dialogue choices, faction alignment, and skill investment directly influence quest outcomes and available solutions. As a remastered release, it retains classic design priorities while refining interface usability and system clarity for modern platforms. Released in 2002, Divine Divinity is built around a continuous, seamless world with no chapter-based separation or mission gating. Progression is driven by player movement across Rivellon, where towns, dungeons, and quest lines coexist on a single persistent map. The game prioritizes systemic interaction over scripted sequences, allowing combat, dialogue, theft, and exploration to occur in most locations without restriction. Its design supports long play sessions through layered quest chains, unrestricted backtracking, and skill-based character growth that is not locked to class boundaries, creating a highly adaptable role-playing structure. Stoneshard is a turn-based isometric RPG designed around tile-based combat, strict resource management, and limited safety systems. The game places the player in a hostile medieval region where survival mechanics directly affect progression, including hunger, injuries, diseases, and equipment durability. Its world is structured as segmented zones connected by travel routes, with towns serving as economic and logistical centers rather than narrative hubs. Character development is skill tree driven instead of class locked, allowing varied builds focused on positioning and stamina control. Combat emphasizes terrain, enemy abilities, and action economy. The absence of manual saving reinforces deliberate planning and long-term decision making. Alright boys, I think that's it for today. I know that there are other hidden gem isometric RPGs that I haven't mentioned yet, so how about sharing your best hidden isometric RPGs that probably deserve the spot in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video and make sure to subscribe the channel if you don't want to miss another great list. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Peace.